Chris and Cash Show.
Chris and Cash podcast.
It is Friday, June 10th, 2016. How do you like that?
I don't even think you looked at a calendar that time.
No, I looked at my watch a second ago.
Wow.
Usually whether we do or we don't, I start by saying we have a lot to talk about. We have absolutely nothing to talk about.
We ain't got shit to talk about.
But I do want to start the show by recognizing a couple of legends.
Yep, that's actually the only thing we have to talk about.
In their respective professions.
So we'll be like, R.I.P., see you guys later, have a good night.
Now, unfortunately, he died a week ago, but obviously we only do the show once a week. We were not aware of the time last week.
He hadn't died yet.
We lost the greatest. Muhammad Ali passed away last Friday night, late Friday, so it was after we wrapped it up.
Yeah, was it Friday night or Saturday night?
It was late Friday, because he died on the 3rd.
Okay, because I was watching it Friday night and they said he was still alive, but
they said he wasn't.
Saturday morning,
that was a shock to me too, because I knew he wasn't.
He was in the hospital, and
I knew he was in the hospital.
Family was visiting him.
I knew he wasn't doing well. I didn't know it was that dire.
I must have heard that at 11 p.m. and then I heard it at 1 something, and I'm I don't know what time because I kept the TV on. And suddenly the news said he was dead at one point earlier.
I'll check the timestamp. It was after 11. I know that, but
it was late.
But yeah,
I don't know if he's the greatest ever. I think that's a hard sport to predict and say the greatest ever.
You know, you're gonna have different opinions. You're gonna have
of course you are.
You're gonna have guys that say Frazier. You're gonna have the old timers that say Marciano. You're gonna have people from our age group that are gonna say Mike Tyson.
Floyd Mayweather.
Uh,
First of all,
I wouldn't say Mayweather, but
I'm just telling you.
Let's see.
A lot of people think you have to be a heavyweight to be the best ever. I don't know if that's true.
For the record, I got the text from your cousin at 12:35 a.m. on the 4th, but I know for a fact he died on Friday.
I'm not saying he didn't. I say I didn't hear them report it at that point, so I didn't know when he died.
Yeah.
The exact death.
But
he was 56-5, a 3-time champion, 5-time ring fighter of the year. I mean, he's arguably the greatest. That's true. A lot of that is his bravado and his talking. Let's be real here. I mean,
we got his. You got to keep in mind too, and you said this is overrated.
He fought a lot of good fighters. I get it.
He was 29-0 in his prime. I believe he was 25 years old, and then he was basically suspended for 3 years at his peak for refusing to go to Vietnam.
And I understand that, but the point I was making to you is, if he's suspended for not going to war, or he goes to war, he still misses the time. It's irrelevant. He was missing the time regardless.
Not necessarily.
Okay, if he goes to war, they're just going to be like, hey, keep your boxing career open while you're at war?
Carl Yastrzemski. Did he have to go to Vietnam?
That's not my point, Scotty. My point is, if they put him they were going to... First of all, technically wasn't a draft dodger. All right? He was drafted twice, and he failed the fucking intelligence test. Let's just be real here. Whether that was on purpose or not, he had an IQ technically of 69 or 70 or whatever it was. 79, 69.
I think he did it on purpose.
Whatever it was. His IQ was horrible. No, he has a horrible IQ. He dropped out of school in 2nd grade or something like that? In some ways you can say he was a brilliant man, but in other ways he was not an intelligent man. So it is what it is.
There's a difference between being book smart and just not caring. See what I mean?
Yeah, but just because someone's a really good talker doesn't mean that they're suddenly the smartest person in the world.
I didn't say he was the smartest person.
I mean, if you're not book smart, then you're not smart. I'm not saying you can't be smart in other ways, but you can't sit there touting how intelligent you are if you're not at least book smart. You don't have to be the most book smart person, but if you have an IQ of under 100, you're not a genius. I'm sorry. There's no way. I don't care if you're the greatest at something else, that you're not a genius because your IQ is under 100. Okay? Even if you didn't go to school, if you took an IQ test, you should get over 100 if you're a genius. It's just the way it works. Because you can figure out other things. IQ tests are not just oh yeah, this kid isn't book smart. It's this person should be able to figure things out. So he didn't go to school, he didn't have a high IQ, he friggin' failed basically the requirements for being smart enough to be in the military.
See,
and then
I don't buy into that, and I'll tell you why. My brother has 14 degrees.
I'm not saying a degree makes you intelligent.
My brother's an idiot, and he has all these degrees. Doesn't make you smart. See what I mean?
I didn't say it did.
My friend Alex.
That's not my argument. My argument is, if you have a horrible IQ and you dropped out of school in 2nd grade, you are not a massively intelligent man.
And what does this have to do with this boxing?
No, it has to do with the fact that he technically isn't a draft dodger, quote unquote.
No one said he was.
People say it all the time. Actually, he was called the draft dodger by who called him a draft dodger? I'm trying to remember who he fought that called him a draft dodger.
We're on his Wikipedia page now, but
Yeah, I think Joe Frazier called him a draft dodger.
we've been talking about Ali for the first few minutes. We also lost Mr. Hockey today. Gordie Howe passed away at age 88. I guess he had been in hospice care.
Yeah, he was old as shit.
But
he was 88.
yeah.
It's super old. Like,
Now, in today's day and age, 88 is old. It's not super old. Like
once you make it past 80, it's all gravy from there, dude.
90 plus is super old.
90 plus is like, I can't believe you're not dead yet. And that's not even me being rude to people than 90 plus. It's like, wow, you're old.
My uncle punched you in the face. You said that.
Okay, well, I have an aunt that would punch him in the face that's 96 if he punched me. So
96.
she's 96.
Damn.
But the point is, you can't just sit there and be like, oh, that's not that old. That's wicked old. 88?
The other thing with how
88's old. If you make it to 88, you're
old.
gonna be like, wow, this is a good life.
I'm going to be way gone before 88.
Oh, okay. Just
I might not
making
make 38.
That's like a car making 30 years old.
I might not make 38. I tell you what, when you ride over here. But Gordie Howe's another one. I'm not going to go on a limb and say he's the greatest hockey player of all time. He's in the top 3.
He's probably top 3 or 4, regardless.
I mean,
if you want to throw a goalie in there,
your top 3 or 4. You got
to have Orr and
you got
Gretzky.
You got Orr, Howe, Lemieux, Gretzky. Like maybe like those 4.
I don't even think a lot of people wouldn't even put Lemieux in the same.
I think Lemieux.
You do. You think Lemieux's like the greatest thing ever.
I think Lemieux overall was better than Gretzky.
You think Lemieux was like the greatest basketball player ever, just because of how much you think he's great at hockey.
Gretzky's the greatest scorer of all time. But that's all he could do. Orr and Howe did everything.
No, Gretzky did more than that. You just undercut Gretzky, and I don't know why.
I just said he was top 3 ever. I said he's the greatest scorer ever, and you always do this. You're always like, you think he's a bum, like you think Kareem's a bum.
No, but you think he's just a scorer, and that's not true. Not just a scorer.
Oh, I'm sorry. He set up Mark Messier for a bunch of assists in Edmonton. I'm sorry.
Okay, what else is there to do? As an offensive player,
I don't know. He didn't
punch people in the face well enough for you.
He wasn't really a two-way player.
Okay, a lot of offensive players aren't. Right. Okay.
Or how were.
Right, but that's a different argument.
A lot of hockey aficionados are going to say all around that Lemieux was just as good, if not better. Like the whole package.
Well, the all-around thing is dumb, because Kawhi Leonard all-around is the best basketball player right now. But he's not the best basketball player in the world. I don't think I think he's probably 5th best basketball player.
Kawhi's right there.
But he's the best all-around player. All-around is different than best.
By the way, we are going to get into...
I don't like that all-around thing, because it's saying, like, oh, you're kind of really good at everything. You're not really an ace in anything, but you're a jack at everything. Yeah, that doesn't make you the best.
We're going to talk about, which is, at this point, through 3 games, arguably the worst final.
It's up there.
Like I was telling you guys...
That's why we don't have a lot to talk about, because everything that's going on is boring.
Well, here's the thing. The Celtics are going to take some friggin' European stiff in a couple of weeks.
I don't care about the Celtics.
All right? So the Celtics aren't playing. The Stanley Cup Finals, while they've been very, very entertaining...
They haven't, actually.
Nah, there've been some good games in there. Last night was a good game.
I was listening to 2 hockey guys last night talk about how fucking terrible it was.
I thought it was entertaining.
They've said the last game they had was the best game that they've had.
The thing is, too, like Pittsburgh and San Jose, there's no sizzle. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't mean the games haven't been good, but...
It's been a better series, quote-unquote, than the basketball series, but not by much, and that's saying something.
Me, you, and a bunch of guys at like a rec center like playing 3-on-3 would be better than this NBA final. Okay? Awful.
Well, yeah, because no one would beat each other by 30 points when we're playing up to 11.
No,
we beat you by 30. We're playing to 11.
Not
30 points.
Not 21. It's awful. I'm trying to think back, like the last final that was this bad and like this just awful. Like that '99 Spurs Knicks one was pretty bad. There were a couple of bad. That Spurs Cavs in 07 was pretty bad. There have been some really piss poor finals, but this one's right up there. First 3 games haven't been competitive. And I'm going to tell you something else. Steph can have the poker face all he wants. He can say, I'm fine, I just haven't been playing well. There's an injury. He's hurt.
Something's going on.
He's hurt. You agree with that?
He's averaging
He's not
like
himself.
3 points a game right now.
He's not himself.
And it's not even a 3-pointer. It's like he gets a 2-pointer.
No, I think he's averaging like, what, 22 a game?
No, it's
20?
like 16.
No, it's not that low.
In the playoffs?
He had 19 the other night.
In the playoffs, he's averaging 16 a game or something like that.
I'm talking about this series.
Well, I'm talking about the playoffs.
Talking about the
Playoffs? Yeah, I'm talking about playoffs. In the playoffs, okay? Just going to pull up Steph Curry real quick.
Are they going to come up and... Like, this is up
Yeah.
to date on this site?
Yeah.
Just go to ESPN or NBA.com.
Nah, dude. First of all the best sites are the reference websites. Basketball Reference, hockey,
I get that, but as they're happening,
pro
you
football.
still go to them as they're happening.
Well, it's not like they're in the middle of a game, so it updates the next day, Scotty. Do you know what I mean? If they were like, it was middle game, I wouldn't be looking like, oh, yeah, what's going on here?
So, he's looking that up.
Playoffs, okay? And 14...
We're also going to talk a little MLB. That's right, MLB draft. Because the Red Sox...
Okay,
The Red
yeah,
Sox-
that's got to be in the finals, then. Hold on. In the playoffs so far, in 14 games, he's averaging 24.4 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, 5.7 assists.
Which on the surface looks good. But if you go by the eyeball test... Like, what's his shooting percentage?
On the surface, it looks good till you realize he's got a PER of 23.4. His WARP is 1.1. His BPM 7.0. And then if you look at his actual how he played for the season, he's got a PER 31.5, WARP at 9.8, and a BPM of 12.5. Now, granted, his WARP's going to be higher because it's value over a long period of time. And his per game was 30, 5.4, and 6.7, or 30.1. Let's go. Yeah, that's got to be.
It's got to be an injury.
No, it's got to be the finals. I heard the other day he was averaging 16 points per game. And I was like, holy shit, is that serious?
Not in the finals. I don't think so.
It's got to be.
Because I think he broke 20 in the first 2 games. And he scored 19 the other night. We're going to have to check that.
He hasn't really done shit. If you remember the first game,
No, he didn't
the
do
bench
anything.
players were the best.
He may have been under 20 in the first. Check the stats. Check the
Yeah.
stats. Rather than have us speculate.
Oh, why? It's fun speculating.
Yeah.
16 points per game, bro. I told you.
Go game by game. Like, go to the box scores.
The first game he had like fucking.
I want to see what he.
14
I want to
points,
see what he
16
had in the
points.
first game. I
It was
don't
literally
know.
like around 16 points.
What do you have in the first game? He had 11 points.
Ah,
I didn't think it was.
crap.
I didn't think it was that bad.
As if you remember, Sean Livingston led the team in points.
He had 20.
And then freaking Bogut and like Draymond Green were like the next best players or something.
Yeah.
Let's see, it was sorry, I think I just went past it.
Livingston had
Sean
20.
Livingston had 20, Draymond Green had 16, Bogut had 10, sorry. Harrison Barnes had 13. It was like everyone just scored random points. Last game he had
Klay
like
Thompson
what,
had
19?
9. He had 9 points.
Yeah, neither one of them were playing well.
No.
And Klay Thompson isn't even injured, so I don't. But they're just getting shut down. Like,
By the way, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but when I found out that Love wasn't playing in Game 3, I said the Cavs are going to win by like 100 points, and they did.
I knew you were going to say that, and that's completely absurd because they're not a better team just because he's not there. They're a better team because they're in fucking Cleveland. That's it. If he had played last game, he probably would have had 20 points, 11 rebounds, and like 2 assists.
He would have given up 40.
And they would have won the game by 30 still.
Kevin Love couldn't guard his own shadow.
And just-
Yet the Celtics are still trying to get this guy. I would rather have them draft Bender than
Okay.
trade for Kevin Love. At least Bender would be cheap.
Second game, Curry had 18 points and Clay had 17.
So he hasn't even broken 20 the first 3 games.
No,
Wow.
they're not playing well.
I think, Chris, I think it's more than that. I think he's injured. He's just not
Well,
saying
then
it.
explain Klay Thompson.
He's just in a slump. He's done nothing. He's done nothing since he exploded in Game 6 in OKC
Klay Thompson's averaging 12 points per game. 12.
in the finals.
Right. Curry's averaging 16. Their leading scorer is Draymond Green. And that's why you're going to be like, oh, it's a bum. LeBron James, 24.7 points, 10.3 rebounds, 8.0 assists. Even if he loses the series again to a better team, he's going to be the best player in the series. He's the best player in almost every final series he's played in.
Yeah, he was not the best player in 11. Not even close.
I didn't say everyone. I said almost everyone.
All right. We didn't have this show a year ago at this time. And I really don't want to get into it. I'm not in the fucking mood. I told you a year ago that he was the best player in the series. I didn't disagree with you. That doesn't
He should have won the Finals MVP last
doesn't
year.
mean he's the Finals MVP.
He should have been last year.
I have a major.
Last year he had like fucking 80 points a game.
I have a major.
They basically would have done better if they just
Problem
rolled
with
him out alone versus the 5 other players.
I still have a problem with Jerry West being the Finals MVP in a losing team.
We talked about this in the beginning of the podcast. When we first started.
I don't understand. Like, how can you be the most valuable if your team lost? I cannot get.
It
past
doesn't
that
say
point.
most valuable in the winning team. Most
It should.
valuable in the best team.
It should.
Question for you: did A-Rod win an MVP?
Regular season?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a last place team.
Yeah.
And that still bugs me.
No. I think it's perfect because he was the best player. He was the most valuable. You know what? How many games that team wins without him? Maybe negative. The first team with 172 losses and 162 game season.
What does MVP stand for?
Most valuable. What does valuable mean? Doesn't say most valuable on the best team. It says most valuable. Most valuable player. Doesn't say anything about team. It says most valuable player.
They won 67 games with him, and if he wasn't on the team, they may have won 30, and that makes him the most valuable.
If he's worth 37 goddamn wins in baseball, you effing right.
That's retarded.
No, because that means you stick him on a 90-win team and they're winning a fucking 127. Think about that for a minute.
It's not just because it's A-Rod.
No, but the thing is, most valuable has nothing to do with what team you're on.
What they really
You're the most valuable. That's why I think James Harden should have been the most valuable player last year, in my opinion.
What they really should
Number one, he was more valuable because Klay Thompson had more help. Number two, I thought he was the best all-around player.
Curry, not Thompson. You said Klay Thompson.
Sorry, well, Klay Thompson had more help too. Curry had more help. They help each other.
Okay. They really should change it. They should take all the ambiguity out of it and just say, like in the NCAA tournament.
How about you just say best fucking player?
That's fine. The BFP award.
Best fucking player award.
The BFP.
For everything.
LeBron. I would have voted for LeBron the BFP.
Because the problem I have with valuable is this is what Peyton Manning won. Peyton Manning won for being the most valuable when he had the best stats. Peyton Manning won for being the most valuable when he had the best commercials. Peyton Manning won for being the most valuable when his team won the most games. No, you can't do that. You can't. Peyton should have. That's why I don't hate certain players. I do dislike them.
Peyton has like 2 legitimate MVPs.
Peyton should have 3, maybe 3.5 MVPs. And I don't mean half like splitting the one with Steve. I mean like if he had 4, I wouldn't probably super bitch, but 03, 04, completely fine.
Even 13, completely fine.
Yeah,
55 touchdowns.
Oh, dude, no arguments here. That's like me saying if A-Rod was on the first place team and he won it with those numbers, of course. I mean, if he won it on the last place team, he should win on the first.
09, it should have been Breeze, and 08 to this day still makes no sense.
08 probably should have been Kurt Warner. I'm sorry. In 09 should have been Breeze, Brett Favre.
It could have been anyone in 08 other than Peyton.
It could have been Rivers.
08, the 2008 NFL MVP just reeked of no one really stands out. Brady missed the whole season. Let's just give it to Peyton. That's what it felt like.
He wasn't the best player.
09, okay, Indy was 14-0, and then they rested the last 2 weeks. They had the best record in the league. That was a loaded Colts team. I get that, but I thought...
But he wasn't the best quarterback.
I thought Breeze was the MVP.
Breeze and Brett fucking Favre, who was like 80 years old at the time, were both better.
He had like 33 touchdowns and 7 picks.
Yeah. That's better.
And I hate Brett Favre. Anyone who knows me.
And my problem is, like, when these guys have superior numbers to you and they play in the same position, and then maybe their teams aren't as good, but their records are almost as good, because I think Minnesota was 12-4 and New Orleans was 13-3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like this is giant discrepancy.
New Orleans was 13-0. They clinched everything, and then they didn't play anyone like the last 3 weeks.
Well, they got beat 1 week.
They rested a lot of people.
But my point is, well, honestly, all those teams should have gone for 16-0. They're buffoons for not. They're buffoons. You're a buffoon if you don't go for 16-0. You're a buffoon. How did that work out for the Colts not going for 16-0?
Hurt them.
They had a legitimate chance to go 16-0. And they lost, the fucking Super Bowl. They're buffoons.
By the way, they should have won that Super Bowl.
Well, they were the better team. That's my point, though. You didn't say, well, pretty close to best quarterback on the best team. MVP award goes to Peyton Manning. No, that's why I don't like the MVP going to just the best team guy. Because if that's the case, Brady should have like 37 MVPs because he's been on the best team so many times. Like, it's not how it works.
No one ever talks about Brady's 09 season coming back from
I do.
ripped up knee.
If you
I
look
know,
at-
no, I know you do. He had like what, 29 touchdowns and like 12 picks with like
and if you
4,500
look
yards.
and if you look at his advanced stats,
He played a beast schedule.
he played the hardest schedule I think any quarterback's ever faced. His advanced stats by far show him to be the best quarterback when you look at DR and DVOA.
That was a down year for them. They went 10-6. That's a down year for Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, and technically speaking, that team also had a horribly hard schedule, and they should have won a couple more games, and they would have been like 12-4 against the B schedule.
Well,
That was actually a really good team that
the
just
Indy game-
found ways to lose.
The Indy game,
They should have won the Indy game.
they were up 21 with 10 minutes left.
The one game that they really just got blown out was New Orleans.
They got killed.
New Orleans, that's
They
it.
got killed. You know what? They got killed against the Jets too. They did. I don't think they scored in the second half against the Jets in one of those games.
And that's what people don't understand.
Since
They
we have
don't
nothing to
realize.
talk about, do you want to just talk about Brady?
Tom Brady. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing right now, but I'm going to go to 2009. I'm on Football Outsiders, okay? Looking up DR and DVOA. Now, DR is defensive adjusted yards above replacement for quarterbacks, so how many yards they actually produced over replacement. It's kind of like a WAR stat almost, a little different, because it's defensive adjusted. So it's almost like a WAR, but if they did WAR based on who you faced as a pitcher, as a hitter, or as a pitcher. So it's kind of like OPS plus or ERA plus, where it's adjusted for actual things. And then there's DVOA, which is defensive adjusted value over average, which shows per play, as opposed to your total, how much better you were than each other player. And so we're just going to go down here. So I'm looking at 2009, right? And who has the best DR, the highest DR?
It'd be Tom Brady.
With 2,021 yards. Now, I think to this point in the history of this stat, which goes back to the 90s, I think there's only been 8 or 9 2,000 yard DR seasons, and Tom Brady has fucking 4 of them. So people can suck on a big dick.
So that would be, I'm guessing, 07, 09, 10.
I think
And-
it's 07, 09, 10, and like 2012. Where like 2012.
Sure it wasn't 11.
2011. I think it might be 2011, 2012. We can check in a minute. And actually, I think they adjusted one of them.
2011, he threw 5,000 yards.
So if you notice, his DR is 2021. His YAR, which is yards above replacement, before you defensive adjust, is only 1,649. He went up almost 400 yards based on the schedule he played. That's how hard the schedule was. That's an absurd adjustment that people don't understand. If you just go by yards above replacement, look at Peyton's yards above replacement. 1,849, right? It's actually exactly 200 yards above Tom Brady's. Then when you schedule adjust the fact that he played fucking me and you, he goes down to 1,771. He played the easiest schedule in the league that year. That's why his team was 14-2, guys. He played like a cupcake schedule. People keep acting like the AFC East was this downright crap division.
Honestly,
The AFC East is actually statistically better than any other division because you have to include the Patriots in them, okay? But in the best division since Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have been in this run. Now, part of that's the Patriots themselves. However, if you look at the division that friggin' Peyton Manning played in the AFC South, that division sucked balls.
really during that whole decade, Buffalo was terrible every year, but Miami had some good teams. The Jets had some good teams, so it wasn't all.
No, they made the
fucking
playoffs.
crap.
Up until last year, the AFC East
The Bills were like perennially horrible, but
right. Up until last, because remember, in the early 2000s, like you said, Miami and the Jets both made the playoffs a couple times each.
well, you had the Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Jay Fiedler,
You had
Randy McMahon,
Chad Pennington and those Jets.
the dividing line.
The dividing line.
My boy Chad,
The ultimate dividing line, and if you're a good quarterback or not.
dude, he's a good quarterback.
Okay? So that's why those stats to me matter. Tom Brady, beast. Beast.
By the way, I'm looking up that 2009 season now.
And I'm not even going to get into it, too. Tom Brady loses so many more yards by offensive pass interference calls against the Patriots than any other
That's
fucking
the only way they
quarterback.
can stop Gronk
Yeah,
now.
they're just like, yeah, Gronk's getting the Shaq treatment where, like, if he accidentally walks into somebody, they're like, foul. I'm like, there's no fouls in football. They're like, foul, offensive pass interference.
All right, so really quick, the 09 season where again they went 10-6. They got blown out in the playoff game. We're just talking regular season right now. They beat Buffalo 25-24 at home in the opener, and they trailed that whole game. They
Yeah,
hit Benny
that was
Watson.
the game with
Ben Watson.
Merriweather.
Yeah.
Fucking crushed the dude in the return. Fumbled it. And then you saw some Tom Brady magic. They scored like 14 points in the last fucking minute.
At the Jets next week. This is Rex's first game against the Patriots. They lost 16-9. They played horrible. They killed Atlanta. They beat Baltimore by 6 the following week. At Denver in week 5. That's the one where it was tied, and they fumbled twice on the final drive when all they needed was a field goal. Do you remember that? And they lost.
Should have won that game.
Should have won that one. Tennessee, they won 59-0. That was
awesome game.
I remember that.
In the snow.
The snow. It's snowing in October.
He threw 6 touchdowns in the first half, and I believe it was 5 in the first quarter. Or second quarter.
No, he threw 1 to Falk. He threw 2 to Welker and 2 to Moss, I think.
In the same quarter.
In the second quarter.
Think about that. In the same quarter, he threw 5 touchdowns. If he felt like doing that all day, that's 20 touchdowns in the game.
They won 59-0. They could have won 70-0.
He could have had 27 touchdowns. He wasn't trying.
The team was horrible.
Tom Brady.
At Tampa Bay, they beat Miami at home.
And on that note, really quick, and I'm not trying to speak bad of the dead, and we've had Muhammad Ali die, Gordie Howe die, 2 of the greatest in their respective sports. Kimbo Slice died, one of the greatest in street fighting in his respective sport. Not MMA, but we'll say street fighting legend. Tom Brady is on a level just below and just about with Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan. He is. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. Especially how big football is now.
If he wins the 5th, that's going to put him in a whole nother stratosphere.
It's not about if he's the best quarterback anymore. I mean, I don't consider him the best football player. Because Jerry Rice still.
I think Jim Brown, but yeah.
But when you say overall athlete, I think you have to put him up there with Ali and Jordan. Yeah, I have to.
We were talking about the 2009 season. You and I have been on the same page on this since day one, since we've known each other. That game they choked away in Indy. Bill made the right call in that game. Going for it on 4th and 2. I still have no problem.
They still made the play, to be realistic. Falk
got it. It was a terrible
Now, the thing
spot.
is, Belichick fucked up the coaching around it, and the decisions around it, and the timeouts and not timeouts around it. That's where he screwed up.
I can't remember the specifics, but I do remember that he blew a timeout. I remember the clock management wasn't great. But the actual call going for a 4th and 2, I still don't have a problem with it. I still think it was the right call. He got killed. He got killed the rest of the season, and years later, people kill him for it, and I don't understand why. Whether you give Manning at that time 20 yards or 90 yards, they were going to score.
I agree.
You pick up the first down, the game is over. Keep them off the field.
Correct.
That's what we got to do.
I get it. Mathematicians said it was the right move. It was the right move. I'm sorry. It didn't work out, so it looks like the wrong move, but it was the right move.
Well, that's the other problem I have with it. If they pick it up, what's the narrative the next day? Oh, that Belichick. He's so ballsy. It was a great call.
Listen, did they played Atlanta that year?
Yeah, he did the same thing.
He did the same thing in his own territory. And they picked it up, and everyone was going nuts and talking about how awesome he was and sucking his dick. Okay?
Well,
Belichick just pulled his pants down, and the whole crowd was like, "Woo!"
Well,
and announcers were like, look at that! Look at that! I'm going to suck his hog! He's the best coach ever! Well, genius! Genius!
Well, they asked him about it at the time, and he goes, I felt that we could get a yard. Which is like his typical,
I felt they could have got a yard.
FU answer, yeah. But it's, logically, it's right. They should have gotten a yard. But on paper, this is the best Patriots team in the Brady Belichick era on paper, including the 04 and 07 teams. I'm talking
right now.
I'm talking about the players.
The one right now.
The players on the team, their age. Where they rank in their respective positions. I'm talking about Collins and Hightower and Butler and guys like that. Gronk, Edelman.
I don't think you can say that. I don't.
You don't even think it's close?
I think it's close.
That team 2 years ago that won it, that team was a wagon after the Kansas City game.
I know.
On paper...
Dude, this team's been a wagon since the decade started.
On paper... I think this team is even better.
This team's been a wagon. This team hasn't made the AFC Championship game once in the decade. And this was a 2010 team who had a bunch of rookies, got rid of Randy Moss, and went 14-2, and destroyed this. Unfortunately,
worst 14-2 team ever.
They really weren't though.
They were awful.
They really weren't.
Their defense was terrible.
Again, I think they might have been 13. They weren't 14-2, but Carolina this year was worse than that team. I'm sorry, they were.
They had a defense.
They were. No.
If you go just by Cam Newton and just
Cam.
like the biggest choking dog performance in the Super Bowl, but yeah, this Carolina team we just saw was better than that Patriots.
Yeah, see, they adjusted it, but this is only through 2013 too, unfortunately. And it's changed since then. But the top 10 DR seasons up to 2013 when they did this, it goes back to the 91 season. Tom Brady, number 1, 2007, with 2,674 DR.
He has 5 of the 10.
Yeah. Peyton Manning, 2004. He used to have 4 that were above 2,000. Peyton Manning, 2004 is second. Peyton
Manning didn't even have that
2006.
good of a year in 06. I don't get that.
Decent
I don't get
hard
that
defense. The thing is, people don't remember the defenses that they play against. Like, oh shit, when Tom Brady in 2009 had 2,000 yards DR, he played against like 6 or 7 games against top 10 passing defenses. So basically every time he played, it was just like, well, this defense is fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And people just don't remember that. They just go, oh, Tom Brady, he was pretty good, but it was no 7 Brady. Well, yeah, no kidding, he was no 7 Brady. He's come back from an injury. But number 2, he played a ridiculously tough defense. If Tom Brady had played in 08, he would have thrown 100 touchdowns. Okay? That would have been a cakewalk of a season.
You know what, that
would have been the coronation of the GOAT right there.
That's the team that could have gone 19-0.
Yeah, because you know what? They had an infinitely
Their schedule
easier
was a
season
joke.
than the 07 team did. Okay? They went from literally the hardest possible schedule to the easiest possible schedule based on divisional matchups.
Do you know what's like
They
terrible?
would have been pissed. They had the same team. They would have destroyed. They would have scored 800 fucking points that year.
Do you know what's like
800 points.
Do you know what's terrifying about that team?
800 points.
Okay, hear ya.
You're dropping 60 a game.
You know what's terrifying about that team?
That Tom Brady got injured.
No, Kurt Warner led Arizona to the Super Bowl, and they almost beat Pittsburgh.
Patriots would have destroyed them.
They beat them 47-7 without Brady.
I know. Dude, I told you this was good 800 points. 800 points. 800. 800. Belichick would have been like, we're not calling off the dogs. Like, Brady would have 9 touchdowns a game. Like, it would be absurd. Absolutely absurd. But anyways, we'll continue. Drew Brees in 2011. Aaron Rodgers in 2011. Tom Brady 2012.
Notice that most of these seasons are like the last 5 years because Roger Goodell's ruined football.
Oh, agreed. I mean, the earliest one on here is 2003. Tom Brady 2009. Tom Brady 2011. Tom Brady 2010. Oh, look. Dude's pretty fucking good. And then Peyton Manning 2003.
Can't get that pencil dick like Peyton Manning.
I mean, to be fair, like you said, it's all newer people. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady has 5 of the top 10. Peyton Manning has 3 of them. And then Rodgers and Brees each have 1. That's how you know who the GOAT is. But those are the 4 best quarterbacks of the era, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The stat means something. It's worth something. And then if you look at best rushing DR seasons, it's Michael Vick.
I gotta tell you, I can't believe that Peyton Manning's won a Super Bowl more recently than Brady. Technically.
I don't think that counts as a win, though. I mean, he was on the team. That's like Nomar getting a ring. Like, they're like, yeah, dude, you got a ring. Good job. Like, no one...
Does he have one whole ring? He had half a ring from 06 and a half a ring this year, so he has 1 ring altogether.
And unfortunately, over time, what's going to happen is people are going to forget that, and they're just going to be like, oh, Peyton Manning has 2 Super Bowl rings. It's like, yeah, listen, we'll give him the 06 ring, all right? Even though he was absolutely...
That was his worst postseason performance. Top to bottom.
This one was pretty bad, too. So,
he was better in this postseason than in 06.
We can look it up. It was close. Pretty close.
In 06, I think he had 3 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in 4 games.
All I know is it was the worst rated Super Bowl run of any winning quarterback ever.
06.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one was up there. It was pretty bad. So Peyton Manning might own 1 and 2 for worst Super Bowl winning quarterback runs. Like Joe Flacco is on one end with let my dick hang low, bam, and Peyton Manning's like, oh my god, it's a big game, and he just pisses himself. Let's be real here.
Joe Flacco might end up being a one-hit wonder. His career's not over yet, but that was a beast player.
Might be the best playoff run ever.
Montana in '89 was...
No, but Joe Flacco's actually looks better.
Look up Montana in '89.
In a second. We will. Give it a moment. Okay?
That '89 Niners team,
Peyton Manning,
just killed everybody.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I didn't even think about talking football really today. Like I was gonna
There's
be
nothing
like,
else to talk about.
I was gonna be like, oh well, Bennett got hurt a little bit in practice, but he's fine. Michael Williams tore his ACL.
Where's Gronk?
Yeah, Gronk's off banging some whores.
Yeah, Gronk is like MIA. No one knows where he is.
3/4 of the team is injured. Supposedly Brady looks great. It's practice.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Andy's going to be suspended.
Garoppolo's splitting exactly with the same amount of reps as the third string quarterback. Again, doesn't matter. No one cares. Hold on.
Yeah, they're in t-shirts and shorts. So whatever happens over the next 2 months does not matter.
Peyton Manning.
Remember Studfeld? Everyone had him in Canton.
Listen, don't you be mad that Zach Sudfeld is the best quarterback ever.
Studfeld, quarterback. What?
I mean, tight end ever. No, don't be mad about it. All right. Peyton Manning's quarterback rating this year in the playoffs, 75.4. Okay? He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had a massive 539 yards in 3 games. Okay, in today's NFL, that's horrid.
Go to 06.
Dude, he averaged less than 200 yards per game. You realize that?
Yeah,
he was like 180 yards per game.
Go to 06.
Step it up.
Go to 06.
He had a completion percentage of 55.4. Dude, look at that. 179 yards per game. Holy Jesus.
I want to see 06.
For the love of God.
Oh, sorry. I said 3 touchdowns and 8 picks. It was 3 touchdowns and 7 picks.
06, okay? Again, 70.5 quarterback rating. That's the lowest of any Super Bowl winning quarterback for the run in the playoffs. But look at least he averaged a lot of yards, you know what I mean? He was like double the yards he was this year. Like, he's just horrible. Horrible. That's why like people are going to be like, oh yeah, Super Bowls. And be like, yeah, the second one he was like the worst quarterback on his own team and they let him keep playing. Like, no. That's why I'm glad Osweiler.
By the way, good for Brock, exactly.
Yeah.
I was just about this. Good point, Chris. Yeah. Well, I would be insulted.
The Broncos fans I know wanted him to be playing. Because he was better.
What about Tyler's like brother-in-law?
Yeah, he wanted Brock. Yeah, because you know what? People that know football and legitimately.
By the way,
first of all,
Golden State's up early. Not that anyone cares.
Fans.
Actually, I care. I want them. I want Cleveland to get
Fans of a team, what do they want to happen with that team?
best chance to win.
Okay. If Jimmy Garoppolo is suddenly better than Tom Brady, and we get to the Super Bowl, who do you want Bill to play?
Tom Brady.
I don't. I want him to play Jimmy Garoppolo as much as I love Brady. As a Patriots
You would
fan,
go over to the dark side and root for the game.
if Jimmy Garoppolo was better. Now, he's never going to be better than Tom Brady, so let's be real here. This is a huge difference between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, so it's just not going to happen. But, yeah, if he's better, I want him to play Jimmy. Just like there was one guy I knew that swore Bledsoe was better for the longest time. And said Bledsoe should get the job back. Bledsoe should quarterback in the Super Bowls. Bledsoe was better until Brady won 3. Then finally he was like, maybe Brady's better. I'll give it to you. Yeah, no. Bill did the right thing. I want him to do the right thing if that happens again. And he will. He's a heartless, soulless bastard.
You can disagree if you want. Oh, if Garoppolo, like the first 4 games, is like 16 touchdowns, like 1 pick, and like 1,400 yards.
Brady's getting cut.
Yeah. He'll be like, he'll bring him in like, yeah, Tom, thanks for everything. He'll probably be eating like a fruit salad. Yeah, I think we're going to go Garoppolo.
He finishes the fruit salad. Mind throwing this away from me on your way out?
No, but seriously, and that's what makes Bill great. I mean, he has no loyalty. He would cut his mom.
That's the point.
That's Bill Belichick.
I mean,
he cut
Mankins.
Lawyer Malloy.
Where's Logan Mankins right now? Retired. Look at everybody that he cut or traded. None of them got better.
He'd rather walk away too early than too late.
But none of he almost never walks away too early. He walks away at the perfect time. He's like, you know what, guy? You're not as good as you were. You're gonna get traded here. You're gonna go here. How many guys were just incredible when they went somewhere else? Name a Patriot that was incredible somewhere else. There's one that you can say was good somewhere else. One.
I'm thinking about everybody.
And I mean same level good that he was here. One. And even then I don't think he's as good, but you could say one.
Thinking about, are you talking about Ty?
No, because Ty Law wasn't as good when he left. He
had 10 picks the year after.
He still wasn't as good. He just had a great season. And he wasn't as good.
And he had a good season with Kansas City the year after that.
Yeah, but everyone knew how slow he was and how much different he was, and he really should have been a safety and all this other blah, blah, blah. Did he play safety in Kansas City?
I don't think he did.
Because they were talking about how slow he was and everything.
He did in Denver his last year.
He wasn't the same player. It wasn't even close. Does
Vinatieri count?
Yeah, he's the one. That's it. The only guy.
You're going to count Vinatieri?
Vinatieri, the traitor.
He's in a fucking dome. That shouldn't count.
But he's the only one that was even
he's a fucking kicker.
I understand that. But
Our kicker's better.
Every other player.
You drafted a kicker who's
Even
better.
Castle, when you got rid of Castle, he made a Pro Bowl.
Kicker who's better.
I understand that. But my whole point was, and that's why Belichick still won. That's the only guy where Belichick parted ways with him, and he was actually good
By the way,
and played well somewhere else.
I hope that doesn't fuck Gostowski up for the season, missing the extra point. I hope it doesn't.
Osaka, come on.
You think that'll give him the yips?
No, he's got a championship ring already. He's been in a couple Super Bowls. He's gonna be fine.
I still think in 07, had they kicked the field goal instead of going for
would've made it.
4th and 13, they were indoors. It was like a 50-yarder.
He would have made it. I think he would have made it.
I don't know how long it would have been. I think it was like 51 yards, but I didn't agree with Bill there. I would have kicked the field goal. You needed points at that. The tempo of the game at that time, they should have kicked the field goal.
Now we're gonna look at Joe Montana's great run. Okay.
Yeah, look at 89.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Not only Montana's run individually in the 89 playoffs,
That team was just a wagon.
I think it's in the conversation for greatest team ever. That
It's a wagon.
89 Niners team.
Okay. So his rating
11 touchdowns,
for
no
the playoffs was his rating for the playoffs was 146.4, more than double Peyton Manning's.
Sure, it's not triple.
I'm sure, but it's
While he was eating a pizza, by the way.
while he was eating the pizza.
Well, there's a free one, right?
11 touchdowns, 0 picks, 800 yards.
In 3 games.
That was great.
Not 4 games.
That was great. Ready? Again, you could say Joe Flacco. So we'll look at the Flackin.
He was great.
And I don't even really like the guy, but he just had an incredible postseason.
Historically, he's good in the playoffs. He really is. Mediocre in the. He's like Eli. He's
And
like
then
Eli.
17.2 rating. Now, he wasn't as efficient as the problem with completion percentage. If you notice, his completion percentage is 57.9. He's always been like that.
He threw more yards than Montana, but he
Montana-
had an extra game.
Look at Montana's completion percentage was 78%. Again, part of that was the team was just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I want you to click on the whole team.
I will. Well, that team was better than Flacco's team.
Yes.
That's not even like close to debatable. But again, 11 picks,
I still
0
think
touchdowns.
I still think in that AFC
More
title
yards
game-
per game though, too, slightly. But
Yeah,
you could argue.
that's the league.
I know you
That's
could
the league.
argue either one of them.
You were allowed to like clothesline people back in '89.
Oh, I know.
Look at that whole team though. I think they finished. I think they went
Oh,
14
I
and
did the
2
wrong
in the
thing.
regular season. Yeah, you get
That's
that.
fine though. I can go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, they went 14 and 2. Differential 189, which was a lot back then. But look at their playoff run.
Let me just go by it.
No, keep going.
No, it's right here. They won
Oh, okay.
the divisional round, 41-13 against Minnesota. They won the conference championship against the Rams, 30-9. That Rams team wasn't in there.
30 to 3.
33, I meant. They won the Super Bowl against Denver, 55-10.
Boom.
Again, that's the reason why, and I'm not picking on Montana. He was undefeated in Super Bowls. He never played a great
You play
team
who you
against
play.
us. I understand that.
You play who
But when you play easier teams, what do you expect? Like, if the Cleveland Cavaliers lose this finals, people are going to skew LeBron again. They are. They're 2-5 in the finals. Yeah, and he played a bunch of great teams. I'm sorry, that matters.
Okay, but you
But
could.
he's the worst team. It's not
That's-
his fault.
That's true, but you could also make the case that there's no pressure on him because he's not the favorite.
Okay, so then that explains the incredibly awesome stats, but he's still not going to win.
He was the favorite in 2013, and in that 6 games.
Like, if I go fight Mike Tyson right now, there's not going to be any pressure on me. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to fucking win the fight. Alright? That's
listen,
not how that works.
listen again. Game 6, 2013 finals with all the pressure on him. He folded like a fucking lawn chair. Ray Allen bailed him out. Actually, Greg Popovich bailed him out.
Yeah, he should have had Duncan in the rebound, but
I'm still in shock over that, by the way. They had like the trophy out like in the friggin' runway for the Spurs. They were up 5 with like 25 seconds left. Kevin Love scored 4 points off the bench. He also gave up 13. I'm kidding. It didn't really say that. Steph is 2 for 5 with 8 points so far.
Thompson's killing it for the different Thompson, too.
Yeah, the big
Cleveland.
Thompson.
9 points. Excuse me, 8 points, 5 rebounds. It's early.
LeBron's got 2, 2, and 2.
29-30. So
30-29.
well, the way I'm looking at it, I'm reading it from Golden State's to Cleveland's.
Check it.
Now it's
They hit a
32-30.
three.
So
Hey, check on Baltimore score for me.
look at the Baltimore Orioles. Boom, boom, boom,
Oh,
boom.
click over here. Actually,
I was gonna have the whole thing.
check the Red Sox while we're at it.
Baltimore's tied 3-3. The top of the ninth. The Sokersons.
Red Sox are up 3-0.
Well, the Red Sox should be up 3-0 because the Twins suck.
17.
And the Red Sox should
44.
probably. You can't say they should probably sweep, but they should.
At
they
least
should-
3 out of 4. At least 3
If
out
you
of
sweep,
4.
you should be able to come close to sweeping.
Listen. This Minnesota team is an awful, awful team. They're barely a major league team.
I know they have 18 wins.
If the Reds, listen to me.
They're horrible.
If the Red Sox don't win at least 3 out of 4 of the series, I don't care if it's on the road. They should be ashamed of themselves.
My man
Shame.
Xander, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. He's got a run. He's got a home run, baby. Boom. Boom.
What's that, a second?
Boom. 7th. I tried to tell you, he's gonna have more power. It's gonna come.
Couple power.
Got more acceleration. The power is there, dude. The power is there.
No, it isn't.
Ortiz, he's got 7 home runs. What do you expect him to be? A 30 home run hitter?
I do, yeah.
He could break 20 this year. Is
Willie.
that going to be good enough for you?
Willie.
So if he hits 350 with 18 home runs and say 75, 80 RBIs,
Not good enough.
and scores 100 runs,
Not good enough.
and is the best shortstop in the major leagues,
Not good enough.
that's MVP type season,
Not
bro.
good enough.
That's better than Derek Jeter by a mile in
Not
any
good
season he
enough.
had.
He's got to hit 50.
He's got to hit 50 home runs, 400. He's got to have an OPS of 16. I'm like, no, that doesn't happen.
And that-
16, 70.
And then I'll say, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That guy's pretty good. No.
No, I love that he's hitting 345. I think that's great. He's playing a great shortstop. I just think he should have more power, especially playing half his games in that park. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He's got 7 home runs, dude.
It.
Dude, he's slugging over 500. You act like he's slugging shit. Look, I understand Ortiz is slugging 727. That's not normal. That just doesn't happen. He's juicing, all right? He rubs his feet in the clear and the cream or whatever. I don't know what's going on, okay? That's just absurd. But you act like he's like slugging like 300. Slugging over 500. It's not like he's horrible.
I just think the power number should be better. That's all I'm saying.
Jackie Bradley got a hit too. That's big because he's been slumping big time. He got a double.
No one's been slumping more than the catcher. He's hitting close to 220 now.
Well, he's not good offensively.
Which, I mean, I think people are overrating that because Yadier Molina, his first few years in the league, was the worst hitting catcher in baseball, and eventually he became decent.
Yeah,
So it's
but
still-
I'm just saying he's not a good hitter right
It's
now.
still too early, I think.
I'm not saying he's going to just be a shitty hitter his entire career, but I don't ever expect him to really be a good hitter.
But I tell you what,
If he can hit 250, I'm happy with that because he's a very good catcher.
I'll tell you what though,
He can call a game. He's good defensively. He's got a cannon.
it makes no sense to keep both he and Swihart on this team.
Well, that's why they're putting Swihart in the outfield. They're probably going to try to showcase Swihart to trade him.
Yeah, but who can you really get for him?
Well, Swihart's still a good prospect. I know suddenly Benintendi's a good prospect and Moncada, and that's what people do is they go, this guy's the best, and then after they decide he's not the best anymore, they're like, oh, that guy sucks. That's what happened with Bradley. That's what happened with Bogarts. You know what I mean? Then Betts was the best. Now Benintendi's the best, even though no one knows. Benintendi could come up here, struggle for a month, they'd be like, oh, that guy sucks. You know what I mean? Like, no. That's not how you deal with prospects. It's not how you deal with this kind of thing.
Get Russian in the big leagues.
They rush everybody to the big leagues. I'm in the big leagues. I'm not even in the farm league.
They rush Bradley, and that's probably why he struggles so much. All right, we talked about Tom Brady. We touched on the Red Sox.
Oh, we could always talk about Tom Brady.
Honestly, there's really not a ton to talk. Well, I tell you what, let's talk about.
I'm almost actually happy Brady's going to be suspended. I'll get a month off from football. Brady will be extra rested. It'll be great.
You and Maura can actually enjoy your anniversary
Yeah.
for once because you're not going to be watching football.
You're like, hey, Ma!
I don't know the date. I know you guys are married in September.
September 28th.
All right. This is the San Jose Pittsburgh game from last night. I was cooking, so I missed the first 5 minutes. I come to the TV. It's 2-0 San Jose. And I was like, oh, crap.
Wasn't long.
And then I was like, oh, you know what? I got to shower. I shower. I come back. It's tied. Then, for good measure, Carlson scored at the, about 5 minutes left in the first, and it was 3-2. I was expecting my cousin-in-law to kick in his TV, but he didn't. I still think Pittsburgh's going to win the series. I think they're going to win one of the next two. And
That's not exactly jumping out on a...
well, I mean, it's I can't get into it when like the Bruins aren't in it.
It just doesn't matter that much to me.
It's just like San Jose and Pittsburgh. Does that do anything for you?
No.
Is that interesting?
No.
It'd be one thing if it was like Toronto and like Chicago, like two original 6 teams. Like, I mean, that would be interesting. Pittsburgh and San Jose doesn't do it for me. Like, they have a hockey team in San Jose. What? Like, you forget sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's just... It's one of those things where... I mean, San Jose... If the Sharks won, I'd be like, good for Thornton. Yay for them. I don't care.
I don't know, man.
Be like if it was like the Memphis Grizzlies versus... I'm trying to think. Toronto Raptors. I mean, at least Pittsburgh's better than that.
Would that interest you?
No, I'd be like, nah, whatever. This doesn't interest me. Not really. I mean, I like Malkin.
You don't like Crosby.
I know. I think Crosby's a fucking douche. That's the thing. I think he's a little prissy bitch, and I think he's a douche, and I think he's overrated. I think Malkin's probably better. I mean, he's probably not for his career, but Kessel, whatever. I could care less about Kessel either way. A lot of people in Boston hate Kessel. I'm like, why? We traded him. We got a great deal. It sucks what we did afterwards, but
they screwed it up.
The Kessel trade in and of itself was like, this is awesome. Then we were like, see all this awesomeness? We're just going to trade it away for nothing. I get rid of it.
Kind of like what Ainge is going to do by drafting Dragan Bender in a couple of weeks.
Well, then if he trades them for like friggin' Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, that would be awesome. But then if he trades them for like Scalabrini's ghost and the player formerly known as friggin' Doc Rivers' son, you know what I mean?
By the way, I'm not buying any of these things I'm reading that like Philly's not going to take Simmons #1 and they're going to...
Dude, I told you, I've read everything, I've seen everything, I've heard everything, I've seen so many rumors.
Simmons and Ingram are going 1 and 2.
Bet you didn't know that like somehow the Grizzlies are going to get the top 2 picks and this guy's going there and everyone's getting traded and Danny Ainge is trading himself to a different organization for a draft pick. Like, no, it's... You read so much absurdities. No, I don't even care. The draft will come. I'll watch it. We'll see what happens. I'll probably not be too happy. And then I'll go to bed. That's the end. And then we'll see if they do anything in free agency. They probably won't. And then next year we'll win 49 games. That'd be great.
I think we'll win at 50.
Oh, 50! 49 and a half games. That should be the over-under next year. Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they won 44. They overachieved
Take
this
a
year.
step back.
I don't know if they'll take a step back because they'll still probably lose in the first round of the playoffs, but they overachieved this year in terms of regular season wins. They did.
Let's say they had won the lottery and drafted Simmons. How many wins was he worth? 5?
It's going to take time.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Ingram's my guy in this draft.
Okay, and this is something that I said to you when it happened. I maintain it, and you agree with me now. I don't know if you did back then, and more people will agree in the future. The Cavs should have never traded Wiggins for Love. I understand that everyone was like, you got to build a team, and I'm like, no, because when LeBron finally starts to be on this downslope a little bit, now you have another guy that should be a stud. You actually technically traded 2 first round. I mean, Anthony Bennett was the guy's
that shouldn't count.
Yeah, but
it should have been the Cleveland Cavaliers select Chris O'Keefe from Atlas Glenmore in Chelsea, Massachusetts. Like, that would have been the equivalent.
I would have been like, I got a contract! And then I would have just fell over and been like, I can't play.
You would have pulled your hammy going up to the stage.
And they would have been like, that's okay, you still get paid. And I would have been like, yes. And I would have been a better player than him still. My career stats would still be better.
I'm pretty sure you
Which
have
like zeros.
I'm pretty sure you have more NBA points than Anthony Bennett and Joel Embiid, so that's fine.
See, that's the thing. Like, what can you do? Anyways, moving on.
By the way, that's going to really upset me.
Why?
I'm preparing myself for it. He's going to take the European, isn't he?
I told you, he's technically the best pick in a lot of people's minds, other than those top two. And so if he's available and you can't trade it for something else, what are you going to do? Like,
honestly,
if you think he has the highest upside and there's no other people, nothing,
do you know what I would? Do you know what I might
trade for Okafor?
Do you know what I might do? I would draft Jamal Murray and trade.
What? Say we're keeping the pick till next year? We're drafting third next year. Wow. They're like, you can't do that.
No. They might be better off just drafting Jamal Murray, who I like. I don't know if he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be a really good player in this league. And then trade Smart. See what you can get from him. Which probably isn't much,
They
but
should trade Smart anyways. I'd be like, excuse me, do you have any old basketballs? We'd like to trade Marcus Smart to you now. I'll trade you Marcus Smart for 3 light bulbs and a janitor's mop. Thanks.
What about the Coke dispenser? Need a new one of those.
Marcus Smart's not worth that much. Like, let's be real here. We'd have to, like, throw in Solinger.
They're like,
excuse me, we'll trade you Marcus Smart and Jared Solinger for 2 vending machines.
We need a new
basketball.
We need a popcorn vendor. Solinger could do it. Yeah,
basketball and a light switch. They're like, no deal, way too much. I'm like, shit. They know.
He'll eat all the popcorn. Sully will.
Yeah. So that's why. I mean, and people around here now are like so high on Smart.
I don't get it.
Like, he's
you
awesome.
and I agree. I don't get it.
He's just awesome. This guy's developing. I'm like, he's awesome at what? Pretending he got shot on the court and flying down. And I thought he broke his hip this year. When I forget, that was in the playoffs, right? Wasn't it? One of the wicked bad ones. It wasn't the playoffs. It was Game 3.
There was
he acted like he got shot.
Oh, it's like the Zapruder film.
It was Korver too, who like is like the weakest, like little like he's like a Euro weenie even though he's American. And he's like wicked, like passive, and like he barely touched Smart, and Smart was like, ah, and threw 20 feet in the air, and horrendous.
You know, stuff like that.
It aggravates me.
Makes me not.
I don't like it.
Want you to succeed.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want Dragon Bender. No.
To be honest, too.
No.
The Cleveland might have found out like how to really be competitive, and
don't say how to beat Golden State.
They kind of did though.
Because part
of it's because they're at home. I told you that.
Because I'm gonna go on record right now.
But the way they're playing,
I'm gonna go on record right now.
You're on record.
The best Cleveland can hope for is to lose in 7 games. Because I don't think they're gonna win a game in Oakland.
Okay? I don't either.
Okay.
But you know what? If they lose in 7, that's pretty good.
I mean, they're down 3 right now. They lose tonight, it's over. Mentally, they won't even make the plane ride out there for the 5th game. They're not going to beat them 3 in a row. Even with Steph hurt / playing like shit.
You know what's weird? Mozgov I thought was going to get better. He was good in last year's finals. They should have kept the kids, man. If they kept the kids, this would be a better team right now.
Yeah, but like I said at the time, and not that I disagreed with you. Again, you were always higher on Wiggins than I was. I get that. That's fine. And to him, it looks like I don't know if he's like a superstar, but I mean, he's averaging
he's a star. Like 18 a game?
There's a difference between a star and a superstar. I'll give you star.
That's all they need behind LeBron and Kyrie, correct?
Okay. No, I agree.
I can't have him as my third scorer on this team.
When LeBron went back there, he was 29 years old. You already had Kyrie. They were in a win-now mode. So at the time, they knew they were taking a gamble, but Love did make more sense. Got to keep in mind, this was Kevin Love when he was on Minnesota by himself, averaging like 20 and 15. Or
25 and
15. But Kevin Love, he's been exposed, man. All he did was put up, great numbers on a terrible team.
Well, that's what players do anyways. Is they just put up incredible numbers on shit teams.
The guy's soft as tissue paper, not to mention that.
Look at this. A couple years ago. 26 points per game, 13.3 rebounds. Yeah, it's like 20, 25, and 15. It's absurd. It's absurd. Then he went to 18 and 14. He had a bad season.
Yeah, averaged 14 rebounds bad season.
He was injured, so. But
18 games. Okay.
Yeah. Then he went to 26 and 12 and a half with 4.5 assists.
Yeah.
And he goes to Cleveland. He drops from 16 to 9.7. The thing that aggravates me with him is
he's a bitch.
No, his minutes per game went down. He should be averaging more rebounds. Look at how many rebounds. is 2010-2011 season. Granted, I know he was a lot younger, but he was averaging 20.2 points, 15.2 rebounds a game. That's
What games?
insane.
73 games.
That's insane.
73 games. Oh, look at his postseason numbers. Click on that.
Sorry, sir. That says negative.
If you get your shoulder ripped out by Kelly Olynyk, you're a fucking bitch. I'm sorry.
Last year it was 14.3 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists.
How many games? It was like
4 games.
4
It was
games.
nothing.
Yeah.
This year he's 16.5, 9.4, and 2.3. So that's better, but he should. I mean, look at his field goal percentage.
Are there any defensive stats on there? Like any like advanced defensive stats?
There are on
for the postseason. I'd die to know what those are. I don't understand that crap. So you're gonna have to tell me what they mean.
There are on this. Now let me see if we can get it. See, this is just the finals, though. Has he even played yet? Like, kind of, but
Yeah, you played the first 2 games.
yeah.
He played like a game and a half.
He's averaging 11 points, 8 rebounds. Okay. Okay, well, he's horrible. His offensive rating is an 82, okay, which is pathetic. The higher your offensive rating, the better. His defensive rating, which is the opposite of a defensive rating, the lower the better because it's points you're preventing,
Right.
is a 116.
The worst on the team.
So in 100 possessions, he scores 82 points per 100 possessions and lets up 116. He's not the worst on the team. Technically, Dellavedova and Shumpert are worse than him. But actually, Shumpert
He's the worst of the starters.
Yeah. Dellavedova actually has a better offensive rating. So it kind of depends. Like Jordan McRae hasn't played, but he has a 200
Mo
rating.
Williams is alive.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but he was LeBron's number 2 for the longest time.
I know.
He's always in the chant, let's go LeBron! But yeah.
Poor LeBron. I dictate where I want to play, and then I make excuses when my teammates suck.
Well, to be fair, his teammates do suck.
Whose fault is that? He's the de facto GM.
That's why he messed up. He should have kept Wiggins. He probably knows that now. He's like, hey, Minnesota, can we trade you guys love for Wiggins?
That's gonna come back to bite Cleveland in the ass for years.
Well, it is, because you know what's going to happen? If Wiggins becomes a top 5 player in the league, and you don't win a championship, number one, you could say you would have won championships.
If they won, I'll tell you what, if they win one championship, I think every Cleveland fan to a man would say it was worth it.
Well, they won't care just because they won.
They ended the drought, right? But the Red Sox are up 6-0 now.
But you could sit there and say that if say they lose this year with Wiggins, okay? Because Golden State's just that good. But then say Wiggins next year is suddenly a top 5 player.
Takes off like 27 a game and with like 6
and he's just as
rebounds.
good, if not better, than LeBron. Maybe he's not better because LeBron will still probably be up there. But so now you got Kyrie's your number 3, and you got LeBron and Wiggins.
I think Kyrie's overrated, but I'll play.
I do too.
I'll play devil's advocate with you, sure.
Well, he'd be a number 3.
Yeah. I still think you win the East, but don't win it all.
Well, see, you don't know because teams don't stay as good as they are every year. Like last year, when Golden State won 67 games, you expect them to come out this year and win more before the season started?
More than 67?
Yeah.
No.
If I gave you an over/under of 67, what would you have said? Under, right?
Yeah, winning 67 games is hard to do. So I probably, yeah, that's fair.
No one would take the over on that. I don't think Curry would have taken the over if you gave him a chance to bet on it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay? But then they come out and they win 73. Now next year, do you expect them to win 73 again?
No.
You expect them to even win 67, realistically?
Same team?
Same team.
Well, they'll lose somebody. Like Harrison Barnes.
Maybe.
Is free
They don't
agent,
have
right?
to lose anybody, but maybe.
Let's say Harrison Barnes is off the team, and who knows who they replace him with. Relative health. Anywhere between 62 to 68 wins, I'd say.
See, I find that to be an insane number because if they win
You don't
64...
think that's a fair range?
Range, okay, but if you made me peg a number and I said 64...
I said the
still
topping
think-
off at 68. With basically the same team. And there's no reason...
68 is still so incredible.
There's no reason with their ages that Clay Steph and Draymond can't be as good or
They
better.
should be
than-
better, probably,
Right.
but
So I think 68 is doable.
I still think
70
that's insane.
73, you have to have a lot of things go your way. And I think it did.
They could have lost a bunch of games they won.
So, I mean, think about it.
Granted, they were incredible. Let's not try to take away from them.
No, but were there really...
You know what's really crazy?
Were there really... Listen to me. Were there really any games this year where they were down like 20 points and they would come and pull it out of their ass?
Not really.
They were either winning by 40 or they won by 5 or 6.
Well, Kyrie hurt his thumb.
Man, does he suck. Typical fucking soft dookie.
Kyrie hurt his thumb. LeBron currently has 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Granted, the team's winning. So
Larry Bird!
team's winning. That was Larry. You'd be like, but the team's winning. That's what matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because this is a couple series where Larry didn't have a great series.
And by a couple, I mean exactly 2. A couple.
No, I didn't get those numbers. I was supposed to get those numbers
80,
for you.
85 against LA and 88 against Detroit. Off the top of my head. He didn't have very good series.
Curry's having a good game. So I mean, pretty good. He's got 11, 1, and 3. It's not.
Yeah, he's
time
3,
left.
3 of 8.
Yeah, 3 for 4 from threes, and,
Yeah.
and 2 for 2 from so free throws. So that's pretty good. Like, it's not horrendous. Harrison Barnes is playing well. We're gonna have to sign him.
Depends on what he wants. Here's the thing. You sign him, you risk losing Draymond. They're going to do that.
They don't. They can pay everybody though.
You think they can pay everybody?
Yeah. In the NBA, you can pay all you guys basically because you have their bird rights. You can go over whatever you want.
Yeah, the cap's not going up for another year, though.
It goes up crazy next year.
Yeah, next year. A year from now. I'm talking about this summer.
It's going up crazy this summer. Then
no,
it goes up crazy again.
No. The big increase is next year.
No, the big increase is this year, and then there's another big increase next year.
How much is it going up this year?
It's like 10, 15 million, whatever. It's insane.
Yeah, and next year, what's it going up an extra 20?
No, like the same amount. Hold on, I'll show you in a second. It's actually a little bit more, but it's going up a bunch just in general.
Yeah, the Orioles lost in 10.
Okay, 2016.
This is a game I play with the Orioles. It's guess who gave up the walk-off for when they lose in a walk-off.
Guess who gave up the walk-off? I'm like, the whole team.
Brack gave it up, and he's been good, so I'm not going to get on his ass. How'd they score?
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Salary cap is going to go to 2017-18. Okay? It's going to go to $108 million. It's going to jump $22 million this year, and then it's going to jump $19 million the year after that. Excuse me.
I thought that next summer was supposed to be the bigger increase of the two.
No, it's supposed to just go up a ton. Another numbers I did see, I thought had it slightly switched, but it's supposed to just go up a ton both years. Then it's going to fall to $100 million the year after that.
The reason that they're doing this is because Jim Buss is a horrendous owner. They're like, oh man, like we got to get the Lakers good again. So they, like this guy's an incompetent asshole. So we just have to raise the cap $100 million so we can just buy everyone.
So that's the thing. Cap's
Really, what
gonna
it
go
is.
up. And now these are just all projected numbers, so who the hell knows what it's really going to be? It's all based on the TV deals. But this is why people are going to be getting tons of money. This is why it makes sense for Durant to just take a 1 year deal. Keep doing 1 year deals.
Mm-hmm.
As odd as it sounds, because then the guys don't have security, you just take your 1 year deals.
You know, Jackie McMullen brought this up.
It's not coming in.
No, that wasn't what I was gonna lead into. I know he's not coming here. I've been saying since day one he's not coming here.
But that was wrong. There was a chance until he played really well.
Yeah, a 0.00001% chance.
No, it's more than that. You know what
it was like 5 tops. And it was only because it's the Eastern Conference, and his favorite player is Larry. That's it.
I love Larry Bird. Boston.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Okay. Jackie McMullen brought this up, and she's right, but I still don't see it, because how much money do you need? She said Wouldn't he be tempted to do the long-term deal now just because of the injuries he's had and the foot issue that he had a year ago and, this, that, and the other thing? Guy's already a millionaire. It's not like his livelihood and his family's livelihood depends on him making a decision this summer on a long-term deal.
If that's the case, then why doesn't he just come to Boston this year?
Right, which is
For
why
a mid-level exception.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Because he signed a $300 million Adidas deal.
I don't see it. I think he
Look,
does.
that's not how these people work. She knows that.
I think he does a 1 year. I think he does a 1 year.
These guys
deal
always
in
want
OKC.
more. They always
1 year
need
deal
more.
on OKC. That's what's going to happen.
It's going to be what Mark Stein broke originally. It's going to be a 2-year deal with a 1 year opt out, and he's going to opt out. It's that simple. That's how it is. There's nothing else you can do about it. Now, the Red Sox in general, I still just want them to fire Farrell. They've been meh. He's still costing them games.
No, you know what?
He's still making decisions where you're like, what the fuck's this dude doing?
You know what? I had a bad week. I'm not going to go into details because no one cares.
No one cares.
I couldn't keep my eyes open to stay up and watch these games on the West Coast. I know they went 1-1 in San Francisco. Giants are one of the top teams in the National League. We all know that. I said to myself, this dude's going to get exposed. Still bad in these 2 games. In some way, shape, or form. I don't know if that happened. Because, again, I didn't watch a ton of those games. By the way, if you're David Price, no Hunter Pence, no Buster Posey, no Joe Panic.
Look at David. He hasn't been pitching well.
A lineup full
Not for...
a lineup full of lefties. You can't beat that lineup.
Look,
Really?
to be fair, he went 8 innings.
He gave up a home run to those guys, his first career home run. Brandon Belt, the only guy in the lineup.
Hey,
that
someone's
lineup,
going to give up the first career.
Hey, right, and it's this guy. Brandon Belt, the only guy in that lineup that night who could hurt you, takes you 500 feet out to the bay. It was a splash hit. It was a Barry Bonds splash hit.
Sox should have got Cueto, especially for the money.
But listen, this guy right now, I don't care what his record is. I think he's 7-3 after the other night. His ERA went down all the way to 4.5. They were, Dave O'Brien was raving about it.
Well, at some point, his ERA is going to be in the 3s.
That's fine.
He had a really bad beginning of the season.
All right.
Still not pitching great.
This guy is a disaster.
He's not a disaster.
He's a disaster.
Strong. That's strong.
Xander
Bogaerts 4-for-4 with 4 RBIs. 4-for-4 with 4 RBIs.
Okay, what you just heard was Chris's erection hitting under that table.
4-for-4 with 4 RBIs.
You have got a hard on for Bogaerts.
I do. Why? Because he's
Bogaerts.
fucking awesome.
Okay. David Price is a disaster. Because this isn't the same guy he was in Tampa Bay. They're not getting what they're paying for.
Yeah.
This guy looks timid. This guy nibbles. He's lost his fastball. He never won big games.
Right?
Even
Wright is an ace.
He's been pitching really well. What do you want me to say?
That he's an ace.
Am I going to go?
That's the update. Boom. Wright's an ace. That's what the update says.
Look.
So, Scotty, read the teleprompter.
Look.
Wright is an ace.
Look.
All right.
Look, he's been good. What do you want me to say?
His ERA is 2.12.
He's probably going to
be an all-star.
He's probably going to make the all-star.
He should.
He's better than Wakefield was. By far. He's had like 8 quality starts in a row. He's better than Wakefield. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Right now, he's better than Wakefield ever was. I'm not even trying to
Wakefield had that one good season. Well, cut 2 really good seasons.
I remember his first year in '95. He had a good season.
He had 2 really good seasons.
Name the other one.
Watch, hold on.
No, you know what you're gonna do?
Bring it up.
You're gonna name 07 when he won 17 games, when they were scoring him 40 runs a game.
I want to be like Timmy Wakefield, but it's not going to come up that way. Tim, well, look at that. Look how awesome he is. He comes up almost right away. You type in Tim.
Yeah, he was like the 8th one down.
Listen, it's a lot of famous Tims, all right?
All right. All you need to know is this guy was released by the Pirates.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
How's that season look?
He started 15 games.
Listen, Scotty.
He was getting a shuttle bus back and forth between the bullpen, Pawtucket, and the
starting. He was 11-5 with a 2.81 ERA. Okay. Not his fault. You're gonna complain.
Look at that Sterling career ERA 4.41. Those 200 wins.
How's that season look?
Those 200 wins. What about those 180 losses?
Question. How's this season look?
What, with the Pirates?
8-1.
Yeah, that's not with the Red
With a
Sox.
2.15 ERA.
That's not with the Red Sox.
First season with the Red Sox. 16-8 with a 2.95 ERA.
I said, were you not listening to me a minute
Correct.
ago?
Not his fault, but this season. Don't ask me why, because they started him fucking as a closer, I believe.
All right.
3 saves. Fucking 15 starts, 11-5.
Do you understand the English language?
2.81 ERA.
Do you
Yes, I
understand
the
English?
language.
What did I say before you looked up
speaking
his
English.
numbers? What did you say before I looked up his numbers? You said he's had 2 really good seasons. I said, I'll give you 95. He was good.
2002, too.
2002 also.
No, 2.
2002 also, not 2002 too.
Okay? He, as well, had a great year in 2002.
And what did he do the next year? Lost to Bennett.
Listen, don't be blaming Timmy Wakefield.
I blame Wakefield. He sucks.
All right?
I blame Little, but Wakefield did not help.
I love how he was a closer for a good portion of this year, and his ERA was 5.
Tim Wakefield, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what do you want him to do?
I wanted him to retire.
3rd in Cy Young, 13th in MVP, made an all-star.
That was a token all-star
Once.
please.
Actually, he had a really good first half of the season, and he sucked. But
Which is usually the case with him.
what are you gonna do? It's one of those things.
2011, that collapse. He was stuck on 6 wins for about 4 months. Francona, the only time in Francona's 10 years here, however long he was here, that I criticized him, he was dragging that corpse out there every 5th day trying to get the asshole his 200th win. And finally he got it after they had blown a 14-game lead or whatever the hell it was.
Look it.
He sucks.
He should still be pitching. He'd be a Hall of Famer.
Sucks. No, he's not a Hall of Famer.
That's how baseball works.
No,
though. If he was
not a
still
Hall
pitching,
of Famer. He sucks.
if he was still pitching, he'd
Sucks.
be a Hall of Famer.
No, he sucks. Sucks.
So if he wasn't still pitching, they wouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
Sucks. The sad thing is, he'd probably be the second best pitcher on the staff, but he still sucks.
Right behind right. You have knuckleballers. Scotty hates the knuckleball, ladies and gentlemen, by the way.
I really don't think Chris knows speaker, because what did I say? What did I say?
What do you mean, what did you say?
Gave him credit. He's been pitching well. What do you want me to say?
Speak
Oh,
to
I saw.
Tom Brady.
Oh, go up. I saw something with Kaepernick. What does that say?
He's happy with Chip Kelly, which means he's going to get traded.
You hear that, Ty? He's happy.
Roddy White's either going to sign with a contender or he's going to retire. Well, I guess he's retiring. Jesus Christ.
And Jimbo Kelly said Rex Ryan's job's on the line this season.
Did you see that photo with
No
that Patriots
shit.
fan at the Jim Kelly golf tournament?
Wasn't
With
he
Goodell? He was
flipping
giving the
off
finger to Goodell? Yeah, that's the best. That was awesome.
By the way, Fred Smirlis, I'm disappointed in you.
Why? What did Freddie say?
He was like hugging Goodell and like shaking his hand and taking pictures with them. They're playing grab ass.
What do you expect Freddie to do?
I expect him to say you're a fucking piece of shit and spit in his face.
Why?
Because like he loves the Patriots. He slurps Brady all the time.
Does he not love the Bills?
Huh? What does that have to do with anything? He played there most of his career.
Correct.
Roger Goodell's an asshole who wanted to move the fucking Bills out of Buffalo into Toronto because he's an asshole.
But Fred doesn't care.
He should care.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Well,
Do you have anything else?
we talked about hockey a little bit. Talked about basketball and it's sucking for the most part. There's really not much going on.
We
with
still
football.
want to fire Farrell.
I still want to fire Farrell. They still need another ace. Or an ace.
Yeah, David Price ain't
And
an
that's
ace.
about that. Oh, 2002 Angels kind of slugged their way to a title. I want that noted. Lackey turned it up and they pitched well in the playoffs.
They had a killer bullpen though.
You said no team slugged their way. This team could slug their way. They have a killer bullpen. Sox, they have a killer bullpen. It's not really, but
It's
pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's average.
It's a little above average.
Kimbrel hasn't even been that good.
No, for a closer, he hasn't been incredible, but Still stays a bit above average, but other than that, I think it's a wrap.
All right, so I'm not even going to bother to say, like, go to our website because we haven't written anything in, like, 6 months.
7 years.
Especially, when's the last time you wrote something?
Back when LeBron was with Miami.
I think Mo was, like, still pregnant with Anthony last time
No,
he
it was
wrote
before
something.
that.
No, I think, like, October is the last time you wrote something. I don't even do Bum of the Week anymore because it's kind of hard to, like, pick out just one person because there's just so many of them.
This is always Roger Goodell.
Yeah. I could just copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste. We might not even have our website anymore. I haven't looked at it in like 3 weeks. Do we still have it?
Oh, yeah, our admin's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And by weirdo, that's being nice.
It's being kind. All right, but the website anyway is www.gamesofinches.com. Go to YouTube, check us out, Chris and Cash podcast for this episode and past
Cash
episodes.
podcast.
We do have to get on that SoundCloud, iCloud, whatever the hell it's called soon, so we can like actually get people other than our friends to listen.
Yep.
But have a good one. We will see you next week.
Talk to you then.